Hey guys, what's up? It's Big Thomas. Tonight we're back here with Death Battle, and tonight we got a Vampiric showdown between the Hound of Helsing, Alucard, against the man that wants to rule the world, Dio. So yeah, this is gonna be an interesting one. So it's been a while since I've seen this fight, so I don't know how this is gonna go. So without any further ado, be sure to like, subscribe for more. Hope you enjoy. Let's go. Let's go. Here we go.
Dio Brando, everlasting adversary of the Joestar bloodline.
Yep.
Alucard, undying enforcer of the Helsing organization.
Vampires, the spawn of nightmares formed from the blackest pits of man's demented imagination.
Anime, basically the same thing. What do you get when you combine them? Two of the meanest monsters out there. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Death battle. Here we go. First up.
Imagine, if you can, someone so wicked that the sheer magnitude of their unholy dickishness literally destroyed the universe.
You might think they'd have to be no less than the devil himself. But it was him, Dio.
Born a penniless street rat with a cunning mind in the slums of Victorian London, Dio was humiliated by his poverty and abused by his alcoholic father.
His bitter resentment and small dick energy would lead to a lifelong desire for ultimate power and immortality to reach a place over heaven.
And he'd get his chance to act when he was adopted into the wealthy Joestar family. Dio planned to kill his new father, George Joestar, and take
expect anything less from this guy? He killed his own dad too.
Thing stood in his way. His new brother,
Jonathan Joestar,
aka Jojo.
Dio tried to go all alpha wolf on Jojo by engaging in such classic sibling pranks as beating him up, molesting his girlfriend, and setting his dog on fire. Jesus! You give that creepy dog murderer what for, Jojo?
But after years of emotional manipulation, Dio's twisted assassination plot was foiled by his righteous stepbrother.
With help from the interfering
Robert E. Old Speedwagon at your service.
Dio pulled out his plan B, an ancient stone mask that turned him into a vampire. That's just
or
bizarre.
A stone man vampire,
So
I think.
He's not technically a vampire like, say, Dracula. Instead of turning you into an unholy demon, the stone mask eliminates your body's natural limitations.
Making him way stronger, faster, and tougher than any human. He can hear a heartbeat through the ground, fly through the air, and hypnotize you with just a glance.
It gets weirder. Dio can create mind-controlling flesh buds from his hair follicles,
probably not going to come
the moisture in his body to freeze anything he touches, and fire beams of pressurized fluids that can split the sky.
Pressurized fluids?
Ow.
Oh, sometimes it's too easy, Wiz. Even more.
You have to ask, like, what type of fluids is shooting out of those eyes? Like, I have to ask, like, is it like blood, tears? What is it? Like, yeesh. I don't even want to know, because let's just keep moving on.
More insane is Dio's healing factor. He's been burnt alive, impaled through the head, bisected, decapitated, lost limbs, filled with bullets, and had a huge hole punched in his chest not once, not twice, but 3 times.
3 times.
Another similar vampire, Straight, survived being blown to pieces and just
with multiple grenades
back together.
All Dio needs is some blood.
It's really hard to take those vampires down.
He's basically a vampire. Though I guess the fangs are just for
more for the
decoration because he sucks blood through his fingers.
Yep.
Dio used
Faster, I guess.
to raise a zombie army to conquer the world and feed a baby to its own mother. Just
to be fair, it's the same guy that killed a dog. What do you expect?
On this show, Wiz, but I'm starting to think Dio takes the cake. Luckily, his plans were foiled again by his old frenemy Jojo, who beat Dio's ass with a martial art that uses the power of the sun. Hamon.
Because should Dio's vampire body be subjected to sunlight, he will instantly disintegrate.
So, what did Dio do? Well, he
cut
off his own head, killed Jonathan on his wedding night, and attached his head to Jojo's body. Wow, cake taken for sure.
After a brief century in a coffin at the bottom of the ocean, Dio resurfaced in Egypt and tried once again to take over the world. His ultimate goal was to create a world where everyone knew their own fate and could make peace with the inevitable tragedies life had in store. In Dio's mind, heaven.
And he'd make it happen no matter how many breads he'd have to eat.
After
Never gonna have to ask
struck
about
by
that.
a mystical arrow, sure, why not? Dio gained
From
a
space, I
stand,
think, right?
the embodiment of a user's life force. Since they're made of psychic energy, stands can only be seen by stand users and can only be hurt by other stands.
Other stands.
Quite the
See?
obstacle for any opponent lacking similar abilities.
Ow.
Like
Hey,
so.
look, Wiz, I got a stand. I call it 99 bottles. Oh, shit. Don't worry, Wiz. I'll
Oopsie.
take you back with your
Transfiguration?
Beer.
Wait, what? Boomstick, that was Wiz.
As
Dude.
befits a god among
Thank you.
men, Dio received one of the most powerful stands in history.
You know what?
With its ability
Yeah,
to
you
stop
done.
time.
Time, huh? Thanks for the... Ow! Well, not only
Yeah, you
does his
deserve that,
time
bro.
stop get longer with each use, he can spam it as much as he likes. He's a massive troll.
The world is
Pretty much.
absurdly strong and fast, able to match the stand Star Platinum, which belongs to Jonathan's great-great-grandson, Jotaro Kujo.
Jotaro.
He technically inherited it from Dio through Jonathan's body and bloodline, making Star Platinum and the world the same
The
stand.
same kind of
And
stand.
both are two of the strongest stands out there, just as strong as Stone Free, which can punch meteors that were pulled to Earth in seconds.
By measuring the distance the meteors are from Earth, we can estimate they were moving at over 11 million meters per second.
The fact that
Factoring in their
wasn't
mass,
burnt
they
up in the
each have a
atmosphere,
kinetic
I'm
energy of
surprised.
441 kilotons of TNT.
Not that
Jeez, that's
crazy
a
when
lot.
you can throw punches that are faster than light. No, really,
strength
Star
rating of
Platinum
A.
kept up with this stand, Silver Chariot, which could cut a beam of light.
Looking at the interval Silver
Look
Chariot
that.
sword swung relative to the light beam, it must have moved over 1,500 times the speed of light.
Oof.
And Dio himself has matched Star Platinum on his own and taken its punches
Yeah,
head
no
on.
kidding.
Yeah, but that's nothing compared to Dio's secret weapon, the
redstone.
greatest weapon in anime history.
Yep.
Steamroller. Turns out Dio's
Just
a hell of a
decides to
chef.
crush
He
it on
can
the
make
opponent
pancakes
and flatten him.
donuts.
Even so, despite having a massive god complex, Dio's still a careful tactician.
He killed
capable
a lot of people.
exploiting an opponent's weaknesses.
Too bad he wasn't prepared for Jotaro to learn how to stop time too and murder the shit out of him. That's some hardcore karma right there. But it only makes sense that a dog murderer would die like a bitch.
But much like the machinations of great and terrible
Unfortunately-
men, Dio's will
Yep.
was immortal. In time, his greatest follower succeeded
Poochie.
in extinguishing the Joestar bloodline and literally remaking the universe in Dio's image, creating
Or in this
that
case,
heaven
Poochie's image,
we've
but,
always dreamed of.
I guess when you're named after a rock star, a movie star, and, oh, that's right, God, you're pretty much bound for greatness.
You thought your first kiss would be JoJo, but it was I, Dio!
Yeah, let it be known, Dio is the world's biggest asshole in anime. I think. I mean, I don't think anyone really got any closer to, you know, Dio's level of dickishness, but yeah, let's be real. This might be a tough fight for Alucard. I don't think there's a way for him to, like, touch the stand, but we're about to find out. So, let's take a look back at Alucard's, you know, stats and see how he stacks up against the man that rules the world.
How blessed are some people whose lives have no fears, no dreads. For though the world seems full of good men, there are
many
monsters in it.
But don't worry, jolly old England has it covered with the Helsing organization.
Founded by famous vampire hunter Abraham
Helsing?
Van Helsing and led by his descendant
Integra.
this secret government institution has saved the world time and again with their secret weapon.
And what better weapon to hunt vampires than with one of their very own, the no-life king, the bird of Hermes, Alucard.
To most, his origin was shrouded in mystery. But under Helsing's employ,
It's
he was
backwards.
molded into an elite hunter, made even more vicious by his intense hatred of his fellow vampire kind.
A hatred that he expresses with two of the gnarliest handguns you'll ever pray to your infinite god to never see in person.
Alucard's
up?
primary sidearm is the Castle, a behemoth of
Castle.
a handgun able to kill most undead in one shot with holy bullets that can nullify a vampire's healing factor.
The Jackal is the handgun she told you not to worry about. 16 inches long and weighing 35
Yep, he
pounds.
dual
Its
wielding
armor
some
piercing,
monster killers.
hollow-point bullets, jacketed in blessed Macedonian silver, were built to annihilate the toughest monsters.
And after decades of clandestine experimentation, Hellsing enhanced Alucard's vampiric abilities far beyond the norm.
Alucard can walk through walls, cast illusions, levitate, and move objects with his mind. Objects
so basic
like,
vampire
say,
stuff, but
3 million
yeah, that.
people's blood? That'd
Yeah,
be an energy
millions.
worth half a ton of TNT.
His psychic prowess allows him to read minds, communicate telepathically, hypnotize with a glance, and see through hallucinations with his third eye.
He's not a Triclops. It's more of a sixth sense that lets him
Okay,
hit bullseyes from a
psychic
kilometer away
vampire.
and even predict your movements. Kinda like the Sharon gun.
Of course, he wouldn't be a real vampire if he couldn't drink blood. The catch is, when he drinks enough blood to kill you, he literally absorbs
Word to
your
kill.
soul. And that right there is the source of his most fearsome ability.
You just can't kill the sumbitch. Shoot him into Swiss cheese, blow his ass to smithereens, turn him into a literal blood puddle. He'll just regenerate his body lickety-split. Like, we've seen some overpowered
Love
healing
beam.
factors
I
on this
don't
show
know.
before, but Alucard's is just bullshit.
While he
He ain't wrong, but again, considering he's got 3 million souls hopping around his body, can't say I'm surprised. Like, if I remember correctly, as long as you kill those 3 million souls, you're good to go. But yeah, you don't know what's going on here. Anywho.
does possess blood and organs like a regular human, Alucard's body is, in reality, composed of an ethereal, shadow-like substance that he can morph any way he wants. This allows him to shapeshift and instantly heal any wound. And each soul Alucard has consumed acts as an extra life that he can spend whenever he's fatally injured. Kind of like a video game.
And after 500 years of unlife, Alucard has consumed literally millions of souls. What up?
Not again!
Yay, more beer!
Not
Just
cool.
like me.
What up?
Sure about that?
Hellsing needed a beast as fearsome as Alucard to take on Millennium, aka Nazi vampires.
Nazi vampires.
It's like evil squared.
Like when Millennium SS Lieutenant Rip Van Winkle commandeered a British aircraft carrier as part of an invasion of London.
Alucard didn't like that very much, so he jackknifed it with an SR-71 Blackbird at Mach 3.
A fully loaded Blackbird weighs 170,000 pounds, meaning it's struck with a kinetic energy of 11 tons of TNT. That's as powerful as the U.S. Massive Ordnance Air Blast.
AKA the mother of all bombs. And Al was in the middle of that and strolled out like it was nothing.
Just as impressive as intercepting Rip's magic bullets. Comparing the distance one bullet moved to the jet in the same time frame as the jet's own movement, each bullet would have to be moving at 1,500 times the speed of sound.
And Alucard caught one with his friggin' teeth. And after giving Rip's name a new meaning, he drove that aircraft carrier back to shore with his mind to fight two separate armies at the same time. What a goddamn monster!
It goes without saying that Alucard's immense power and bloodlust needed to be controlled, so 6 restriction levels were placed on him that he can release against dangerous opponents.
Levels 6 through 2 are for wrecking your ordinary ghouls. Level 1 is for your heavy-duty vampires, and for getting this gnarly demon doggo made from his shadow essence, Maskerville.
But there exists an even greater state of power Alucard can release when he wants to end the world. Level 0.
Once activated, Level 0 releases every single soul Alucard has consumed as a sea of blood-soaked zombies. All 3 million of them.
Sure, with his souls gone, he can't heal as easily, and if his heart is destroyed, he'll die permanently. But the sheer numbers and power of this army from hell makes him virtually impossible to approach in the first place.
He's unstoppable! This guy's got to be like the king of all vampires.
Indeed, he is. Hellsing purposely kept Alucard's true identity a secret, all in the codename. Alucard backwards is
Dracula? Yeah, duh, idiot.
Over 500 years ago, the Wallachian Voivode Vlad Dracula battled the Ottoman Turks for control over Eastern Europe and impaled thousands of people in the process. Hence his historical name, Vlad
the Impaler.
But things didn't end up too good for him. Right before his execution, he took a big old sip of some blood from the battlefield, sacrificing his humanity in order to become an immortal creature of the night.
And that is when the legend was born. But it wasn't anything Dracula was proud of. He grew to despise his monstrous nature and saw it as cowardice. The main reason he hated other vampires so much was that he really hated himself.
Oh, that's deep, Wiz. Maybe that's why he always lets his enemies rip into him like a pinata of self-loathing.
He's a masochist, what do you expect?
Healing factor will fix everything anyways.
Millennium would exploit this arrogance by tricking Alucard into absorbing the soul and
you
abilities
again. Hey,
of
Schrodinger.
a German cat boy who controls his own quantum
Don't
state.
ask.
This grants him pseudo-omnipresence and immortality. He can exist everywhere and nowhere, and cannot die so long as he can recognize his own existence.
But because Al had 3 million souls kicking around inside him, Schrody couldn't recognize himself anymore, forcing him, and thus Alucard, to fade out of existence.
So Alucard spent 30 years killing the other 3 million souls inside of him until he could return to reality and his master. He undid his own unexistence.
No matter how spoopy the threat, Alucard will show no mercy.
Probably gonna get more souls out of the deal.
Day he meets a noble human warrior strong enough to end his unlife for good.
But should he face a fellow monster, a fool who rejected their humanity like himself, he'll let loose the dogs of war, and all hell will sing.
I'm a dog. Then you're dog food.
Yeah, really goes to show you. Immortality really isn't all that's cracked up to be, is it? After all, you kind of miss the ones you loved sometimes. So, here we go. The final battle between two vampire kings. One with a stand, one with immortality, and the origin point of vampires. So, who'd win? Who would lose? Don't know, because actually I'm not going to spoil anything. I already seen the battle, so let's just watch and enjoy. Remember, Redux. Oh, hey, Alucard. Oh! Rude. Oh, that's why.
You interrupted my dinner.
Funny, I was just thinking about having mine.
Then by all means, take a bite.
Here we go. Oof. Yeah, you're gonna have to do better than that, Dio. Heads up.
Checkmate! How oh so very weak, dog. You thought you'd triumph, but it was I.
Dio?
Yeah, behind you, buddy. Oh, there goes level 1.
If I'm a dog, your dog.
Your dog food. And Alucard cannot counter that, can he? It's a roll-ola.
Oh, hearing you scream.
Wait, did he? Oh, yep, he just unleashed level 0. Woo. Hey, there goes your jacket, Dio. Focus it. This is getting good.
What the hell are you?
A real fucking vamp. Hey, someone had to say. Oh. Oh. Jeez. Here comes the army again. Oof. Ow. Uh-oh. Here comes the pincer attack from Alucard. Oh. Go straight for the source.
You want blood, you disgusting monster? Choke on your own.
Uh-oh.
I want to rule the world!
No fun for him? Yeesh. Ooh. Ouch. Good luck with that.
The bird of Hermes is my name, eating my wings to make me tame.
Feels like psych.
Useless. It's useless.
Muda! Vampire hunting down. That's a win for JoJo. Woo.
KO! Alucard pulled out all the stops, but like the bloody drink, it was in vain. Finger guns.
He may have been the king of the vampires in Hellsing, but Dio had everything he needed to clip the bird of Hermes' wings.
Alucard's strategy in most fights is to heal from an opponent's attacks until they get tired, then take advantage of an opening.
Yeah, go up with that with Dio, though.
That here because Dio didn't really have any openings, and Alucard was.
And not to mention, there's really no counter that like Alucard could have used against the time stop. You know, it's not activated. So if Dio just activates it, he's got more than 11 seconds just to do whatever the hell he wants. Like, again, I don't think Alucard actually faced anyone like Dio, you know? Yeesh. Anyway.
Wasn't nearly as strong or as fast to compensate.
Alucard could survive crashing that jet and move 1,500 times faster than sound. But scaling from Stone Free and Silver Chariot, the world could punch relativistic meteors and move 1,500 times faster than light. That would make Dio
we're talking about meteors versus, well,
stronger,
Mach speed bullets.
1,000 times faster than Alucard.
There's just no way out of it.
Alucard couldn't even see or hurt the world in the first place because he's not a stand user. And since Stone Mask vampires from JoJo aren't weak to holy weapons like Hellsing vampires are, Al's guns were more or less dead weight.
Plus, Alucard just had no way to get past the time stop. Even if he did somehow, Dio could just freeze him on contact.
And considering Dio has taken punches from
again, level 0,
Hal would have had
no
trouble
healing
doing
there.
damage even if he got the chance.
Dio's far greater speed and power meant that, given enough time, he could realistically kill Alucard 3 million times in
Remember,
quick
he's not a
succession.
dummy.
Without any viable options for attack or openings to exploit,
keeps forgetting that sometimes, I think.
Meant he would run out of lives eventually, and level
True,
0
considering like he absorbs through their fingers.
Sure,
so
that army's nothing to scoff at, but consider the time Dio's eye beams split those huge-ass clouds.
Estimating the size of the clouds and the speed at which they moved, Dio's beams must have output an energy of over 10 megatons of TNT.
Yeah, mega.
Enough to
Not
wipe out
kilo.
Alucard's army
Megaton.
in one go, leaving him vulnerable. Just like when this other vampire, Walter, could have killed him by piercing his heart. Alucard's even admitted it himself.
Hell, Alucard's army is filled with blood. You know, that thing that Dio uses to heal? But Wiz, what about Schrodinger? With his powers, Al can't die unless he chooses to.
While Schrodinger's quantum immortality makes him impossible to kill normally,
but there's no real proof that he has those abilities.
Alucard cannot have Schrodinger's abilities and his greater array of powers at the same time, or else he'll no longer exist. We can't
remember he
give him
has
both
the
Schrodinger
soul, so
not powers
not much he can do.
The lore and rules of the character.
Even if we did, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't help him kill Dio at all, so at best it'd be a stalemate. Until Dio hypnotizes Alucard, asks him about his powers, and forces him to eject Schrody like the rest of his souls.
Shocking though it may be, Dio's overwhelming offense, impenetrable defense, and uniquely devastating abilities wore Alucard down until the No-Life King had no lives left.
Alucard got Dioned!
Really?
Boomstick, you tell the worst puns in the world.
That's right, and you're just gonna have to Dio with it. And hey, wait a minute, that was a pun. That's my territory. We talked about this.
The winner
is Dio Brando. Hey, we were done with that. Well, there you go. Dio takes the win against the No-Life King, which, honestly, fair enough. I know most people say Alucard would win, but again, that could be just the fanboy side of them, because no one would willingly root for Dio here. And again, there's no real counter to the stand that Alucard could have used. There's no stand users or any equivalent in his world. You know, they go by the rules of the world, so nothing. And besides, there's no proof that Alucard kept the ability of Schrodinger, you know? So, in a way, this was just a battle that Alucard could not win. He was slaying the monsters, but he got slain by one in the end. That's gotta suck for Alucard there. Woof. Woof indeed. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that Vampiric battle. Let me know what you guys think. Do you agree, disagree? Let me know. Till next time, good night, everybody.